Chip,
Rell,
what's happening, baby?
all sorts of stuff. How's it going on with you?
Uh, life. Life is life.
That's always good.
Yes, things are going good. I have no complaints.
That's good.
Personal life is going good, and the world's on fire around us, but I'm fine.
Yeah, that seems to be like just America in general. I mean,
Yes.
I don't want to, like, if you're having a tough time right now because prices suck and your grocery bill is double, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to make light of that situation. However, in comparison to other parts of the world that are
I
literally
mean,
on fire,
yes.
we seem to be doing a lot better.
Economically, life could be better, but we're not getting random missiles when people tell us it's a ceasefire going on. So, I'm all right.
nobody's nobody's threatened to wipe my civilization off the planet in the last week. So
Yes. Haven't
publicly,
been threatened with mass genocide. So you know what? Life's good.
yeah.
Life is good. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk. We're your hosts, Jarrell Williams, and
Soren Dragoy.
before we jump into the main topic there, let me see what else happened in the news. That's such a loaded question.
Mhm.
I saw that the judges told Don he couldn't be doing the Kennedy Center for one. That was
Yep.
crazy. They told him that he just threw his name up there without Congress, and I'm like, he kind of started a war without Congress, so the name thing doesn't move me.
Yeah. I'm glad that they decided to put their foot down on something that really matters. Thank you,
Yes,
Supreme Court or courts or whatever. Not
whoever,
Supreme
yeah.
Court. Yeah.
The
Whatever.
things that they tell him no to are always kind of weak afterthoughts.
Oh, thank God they're there to really, get the bumpers on the bowling ball so that it
And
goes
I'm
right where it needs
like,
to.
that's so low on the scale, and it's even below the damn ballroom. And the ballroom's a problem because taxpayers' money is being used for it. And it just seems the price continues to rise just to line his pockets more and see how far he can go with this.
Dude, there's no
Um,
there's no
I'll
billion
give
dollar
them a little bit of
ballroom.
credit for the rebuttal of the slush fund. I don't know how long that'll last, but them saying no to, the January Sixers not getting the money, I went, okay, okay, that ranks a little bit. We could still go a little further, but I like that that was a meaningful no.
Where is that being held up right now?
Um, the money is there, but he's not, or whoever is in charge of it is allowed to distribute it.
So is it held up legally or is it held up within Congress? 'Cause I thought Congress was like not approving it.
I think it's in Congress, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So the next phase and the distribution is what's up for grabs, and I honestly don't think old Donnie cares. He just went, "Hey, I was gonna get y'all that money. They holding it up. Don't blame me." And
Yeah.
he's on to the next because it doesn't affect him.
Right.
Yeah, and it's not like he's needs these people's votes or any of that shit. He really doesn't care.
It's funny because like a lot of this is just, the whole flood the zone strategy is all about, well, it's not technically illegal. And that's how like
Uh huh.
the entire thing just operates. They're like, yeah, but it's in the realm of almost illegal or uncouth.
Yes, it's those things that feel very amoral, unethical. You know it's wrong, but technically, no. The law doesn't tell you it's wrong, but that doesn't make it any better.
like
And they keep playing that game. Go ahead.
like if I go around And every time somebody puts their arm, on the top of the handle or on the top of the chairs of the bus, I just take a pair of like scissors and trim off their knuckle hair. Like, when they do that to get up, like, "Eh," and then all of a sudden I cut their knuckle hair off. I don't know if that's
Yes.
technically illegal, but that's how this feels. It's like, I
Yes.
don't know if that's technically illegal, but why are you doing it? What are you hoping to accomplish here? Like, there can't be that many laws where we have laws for everything because now you've got a society that can't function. It's debilitated because you have all these laws for everything. Like, we have to have some sort of like civilized, reasonable, rational, like
That's the
sense
reason
of
for unspoken
community.
rules. And
Right.
yes,
Yeah.
there's a certain standard that we have that doesn't have to technically be written in the law where we don't want people getting arrested for shit, but
Yeah.
it should still be upheld.
I don't like that any defense of his activities, like, well, it's technically not illegal. I'm like, the dude has made like a 10 billion, 5 billion, whatever number of billion
It's
dollars.
billions, yes. It's too
Yeah.
much money.
It's too
Yes.
much money. And
Yes.
just by like doing this weird like favor trade as the president, that's not technically illegal, but that's not a good idea.
And it bothers me that one should be illegal because he's accepting bribes and making back alley deals with the presidency, and we never know what he exchanges to get these often. And I think he done sold us, and we don't know that yet.
Yeah. Yeah,
We
that's probably
all
true.
need to start speaking Mandarin real soon, and that's what frightens me.
Man,
And it's
they kind of made fun of him during that whole trip, and that's fucked up. But like, okay. And he doesn't get it. Maybe he doesn't care. He's like, whatever. Take your shots. I'm taking my money. I don't know.
who Don? Oh yeah, he don't care.
Yeah, I don't think he cares. I don't know what the
I
fuck he
mean,
cares about.
money and himself.
Yeah. And maybe
I
like
don't even. I honestly don't think he cares about his cabinet. I don't think he cares about his family. I don't think he cares about a lot.
I think he needs to keep control of like I was reading something about this the other day. Um or today or something. Anyways, I think he needs to keep control of the people that could turn on him in the next 2 years. That might be the only thing he cares about.
I
You know what I
think
mean?
it was
You know how it is. The midterms happen.
yes.
Everybody's all on board in the first 2 years, they're like, "Rah, rah." And the
Hmm.
midterms happen, they realize he's a lame duck, and an
Yes.
extremely unpopular lame duck that is causing a lot of the Republicans to lose their seats and their careers. So,
Oh yes.
there is an opportunity and a temptation for the current politicians, Republicans, to jump ship or fight him to try to claw back more towards the middle so that they're not ousted with the rest of their little maggots.
So they don't
So
lose the people.
correct. Yeah.
Yes.
So they don't lose their entire careers over this. I mean, I think they should lose more of their careers. A lot of them should
I
lose their
do. I
freedoms.
think there should be a lot of jail time handed out soon. Um, I think that there's too many people that have gone along to get along, and it bothers
Mhm.
me. And I feel like, and I get what you're saying because logically, yeah, he should care about that. But he also made that comment, and I never know if he really means what he says that he doesn't care about the midterms. And
That's
I
what I'm
don't know.
saying, though. No, no, no,
Yes.
that's the same thing. He doesn't
Okay,
care
that's what
if
you
the
were saying.
Republic
Yeah.
no, he doesn't care
Oh,
if
you
the
were talking
Republicans
about from the Republican stand. Then yes, yes, I agree with that.
literally the party, like, the next 2 years so that they don't turn on him
Oh, they
because it
need to
takes
disconnect.
what do you mean? Tell me.
They need to disconnect from him. They
No, 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 no. He's getting rid of anybody that isn't loyal to him.
not an immediate. I'm talking a slow back out.
No, they won't. He's literally getting rid of anybody that would do that over the next 2 years is my whole point. I think he
That's
wants
why he picked
power.
the wrong candidate in Texas.
Is that the wrong candidate?
Yeah, he backed someone that loved him more than someone else, but he
Yep.
was more of a dirtbag than the guy that ended up winning.
Yeah, but no, not
Yeah.
not winning though. That's
I
winning the
mean,
primary
The
though.
primary, yes,
Yeah.
to be the Republican candidate,
Right.
which
Yes.
made it easier for the Democrat guy who I think is most likely to win.
Tallarico? No, I think Tallarico's
Yes,
still a long shot.
I think he's got it.
I mean, I hope so. I would like that.
I could be wrong, but I feel confident in him winning that.
I mean, the fact that we've got districts in play in Texas that were not is pretty
That's a
impressive.
sign.
Yeah.
Yes.
But same thing, I still think he is trying to control or keep like his power base around him so that they don't turn on him in the next 2 years, which is why, yeah, he gets the loyalist as opposed to the guy that I don't know pushes back on or is more of a mid level or more of like a whatever, like a Romney or the older style of Republican
Yes.
before this MAGA
Yes.
weird shit. Because MAGAs are just Tea Party motherfuckers, for like 10
Yes.
years, right?
They're
That's
not
all they
what
are.
traditional Republicans or at least
Yeah.
modern Republicans are. No, they're not.
Yeah, like, if we start having this conversation in a broader spectrum, which I would love to start, um, like, in this country, I'd like to have a legitimate, serious conversation where we have more coalition or parliamentary style where we it's not just 2 choices, because there are a lot of Democrats
Be honest with
that
you, I think it could end up as 8 on both, like 4 on
oh,
the left and 4 on the right.
ooh, I know this isn't what we were supposed to talk about, but tell me more. What do you think they would kinda break down into?
Okay, for the left, I think there's like the AOC side, and then there'll be the Buttigieg's,
Okay, but what does that mean? Like, what is the AOC side? Like, what is
the AOC would be more of the progressive, the furthest left without becoming extremist for the Democrats.
okay,
Her and Bernie
Bernie, yeah.
occupy a certain space that a lot of the rest won't touch. And then you slide back a little bit more, and I believe you start to get the Buttigieg's, Pete.
Okay. Yeah.
And then you slide back a little bit more, you get oh God.
I was gonna say, what's the other ones?
It's somebody because I already know that last level that's closer to the middle is like the Gavin Newsoms of the
Oh,
world.
yeah.
I guess that part right before may be the governor of Kentucky. He
Alright.
may be there. Okay, on the
But what's
right
that
side.
using
Oh,
what's the distinguishing policy or philosophy that you are using to kind of break these people down? Because in global politics, Bernie's like center right. Like like in fucking Sweden, that dude's not crazy
oh,
left wing, you know what I mean? So, like,
and I get
what
what you're
is
saying. I'm just talking from our American perspective.
no, no,
Yes.
I know, but, like, what is the defining characteristic? Okay, they're really progressive. I can't on the spectrum, it doesn't really matter, but, like, then you say slide to the right and Buttigieg. What is the defining characteristic that defines him differently from both Newsom and Bernie, is my question. In
Okay.
your mind,
I
in your
feel
mind.
No, I got you. AOC and Bernie are a bit more for the working class than the other people
Okay.
are. And not saying Buttigieg isn't, but they are more social advocates than the rest of their Democratic Party, which I could believe they could be their own party alone or subcategory.
Alright, yep, I agree. They're like a Labor Party or a workers' rights party. Yep, 100%.
And when I go a little bit more, if I skipped what would that be? 3 steps to the right, which would be the farthest right of the Democratic Party. I feel like Newsom is more of a middle ground Democrat, and I'm trying to say a more corporate Democrat, if I could say that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
You
about
get what
right.
I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think I that's the funny part, 'cause I actually think Buttigieg is a corporate Democrat, but he's more for, like, let's make government run like, he was the what, transportation secretary? Or something like that
Yes.
under Obama? Yeah, like, he's,
Yes.
like, hey, let's go make government run the way that it's supposed to run. Like, I feel like he would be more, I don't know what party it would be, but he would be more of that one. Like, he's still on the socialistist aspect of it, but wants to
That's
combine
why I got him a
capitalism with all
level
that.
before Newsom.
Yeah. Like, he's
Yeah.
not workers' rights,
No,
but
no, he's
he's,
not all the way with
yeah.
AOC and Bernie. No. Yeah.
I want, okay, here's what I want to say.
Go for it.
I want to stop this whole sliding to the left and sliding to the right shit. Cause like you can go up and down, you can go at diagonals. Like I don't really think that Bernie and AOC are that far left of Pete Buttigieg and Newsom. I do think that they're progressive and more labor oriented because that seems to be what a lot of their conversations are about. Buttigieg is about as left as Bernie. Um, I know that sounds crazy in American politics, but like it's ideologically that he's maybe slightly right, but and still believes in capitalism, still believes in taxes, but he wants more like functioning government. Like if you give us X, we will build Y kind of stuff. Like fun, you have to, I guess, not read, but um a lot of the conversations, Ezra Klein's book, Abundance, which is not a new
Mhm.
concept, but it's been getting a lot of play lately. So you'll hear Newsom has picked this up recently, and others have picked up the phrasing of abundance, which is
Yes.
true. Like we keep using this phrase of like in the richest country in the world. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I love Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah just talked about this with somebody. Be like, look, um, if I'm on a bus and Jeff Bezos gets on that bus, that
Oh
is
yeah.
now the richest bus in the
In the world.
country or
Yes.
the world, whatever. Okay. But I'm not part of that. Once he gets off, that bus is poor again
Yes.
or
Immediately.
whatever. Yeah. And
Yes.
that's why I'm like, whoa, we need to stop this language of like in the richest country in the world. Whoa, there's a stratification here that happens that needs to be acknowledged. And we can't keep saying this shit. However, there is a way to address that. I don't know what Newsom is. Newsom seems like you said, he's like an establishment corporatist, likes corporate money, doesn't want to shake it up too much. Whenever he can't go too progressive with his ideas because it'll
Hmm.
be he can't go too labor, he can't go too ever because all the people that fund him, and in my opinion, beat Buttigieg, won't fund him anymore. Like he'll get a call and be like, hey, knock
Yes.
that shit off. So
Are you backing yourself?
yeah, or you'll be
Yeah.
paying for this yourself. Or I'm gonna back somebody else. Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't know what the defining characteristics of some of these are. And that's what I've been trying to think more in that phrasing because I hate this. Like, I just lately I've really started to hate this like left right shit.
Mm.
Um, and I'm like, we're all fucking far right. This whole country is far right. We have a couple that are slightly to the left of that, and they're like radical fucking commies. I'm like, no, no. So I want to start redefining that because I think that like they're trying to paint Mamdani as a fucking communist, and I'm like, that
Nah.
dude's a mild so he promised 3
Socialists
things.
probably.
I'm like, "You guys he promised 3 things, and that
Yes.
is it."
And he's sticking to it.
Let him work his experiment, that's gonna be
Yes.
just fine. Uh,
Yes.
he's doing some financial trickery in order to make the budget balance by pushing, like, liabilities out further, which is not my
Hmm.
favorite thing because that just means it's more issues later on, but
Just delays
whatever.
it. But
Yeah,
yeah.
just let the man cook. He was hired to
Yeah.
do a job for 4 years, let him fucking cook.
Yeah.
So, um, the only people that are gonna feel any pain are the billionaires. They'll be fucking fine.
They'll be all right. They'll live.
Yeah, they'll live, I know. Yeah. Um, so, yeah, what else we got?
Now we
So
have to think of the hold on. Um before I say my thought. w- On the right side of the aisle, do you know how you would think that would break up? Because for me, I think it would be, of course, we got MAGA.
yep, got the real hardliners on the right.
Yes. Then the conservatives.
Your traditional conservatives, what most
Yes.
Republicans probably are.
Um, I'm pretty sure there are some moderates in there. They're not coming to mind right now. But I'm pretty sure they exist. They probably just don't get a lot of time on the loudspeaker.
Yeah, that's probably true. And they've been purged from the party lately.
Yes. And
Like your Romneys and your Ryans and all of them, they got
yes.
purged. Like they're
Yes.
not around.
RIP to Senator McCain, because he was one of those. He could, and
Yeah,
those
yeah,
people usually are more effective at working across the aisle.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
as of now, in my mind, those are the three for that side that I can think of.
I don't know where I'd put like kind of the Warhawks at because we have a lot of them, but we have a lot of them in both parties. I feel like we had a lot of that in under Hillary when she was the
Mhm.
whatever she was under Obama.
Secretary of Defense,
No, 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 not defense. She was foreign secretary or whatever, right?
Foreign Secretary.
I'm sure that's not her title, but I don't remember what it was. But it was something like
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
Secretary for Foreigners. Um, you heard it here.
Yep.
Uh,
Heard it here first.
so something like that. I think you've got Warhawks, but I don't know where to put them. They might be their own fucking party. So that's why I'm talking about. Like, you can have like a really pro labor party, and they're like, you know what? We fucking hate immigrants. Like, okay,
Like, whoa.
yeah, which in this country is viewed as significantly more of a right wing stance.
Hmm.
But this is where you start getting all the independence, and this is why people can't like wrap their fucking minds around it, because all of our media and everything is fed to us in this like binary. And you're like, oh, the fucking this person vote. How can a group that's voted for all these Democrats vote for Trump as president? Be like, well, they fucking hate what's going on. And this
They're
person has
not a
promised to do
monolith.
it. Yeah, this person has promised to do exactly what they've been doing for the last 4 years or whatever.
Mhm.
And that's not working for these people.
Yep.
And yeah, you're right. It sucks for X, Y, and Z, but also they may not give a shit about X, Y, and Z. They might not. It's truly. Um, and then you have the way that the immigration stuff was enforced. Obviously, I think a lot of people that were like, "Hey, we have too many," and God, who's doing the really good breakdown of that? I can't remember. It was one of the podcasts I was listening to. It could have been that doesn't matter. I'm gonna be like an old man and be like, was it 48 or 49? No, it was 47. No, I think it was 52. So they had a really good breakdown of like what exactly is happening with immigration, what happened in terms of like the first few years during Obama. So a lot of this stuff, Obama deported a lot of people too, but it wasn't like fucking
Yes.
horrific, right?
Yes.
It wasn't like chaining people up and shit or like
Yeah. It
macing,
wasn't concentration camps and murder.
yeah, and macing fucking children and shit
Yeah.
and waiting at schools.
Or waiting, even actually, even worse at courts while people are reporting in.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
doing what
how
they're
can
supposed to
you
be doing.
trap
Yep.
somebody for doing the right fucking thing?
Because you don't give a shit. Because you
Yes.
look like a fucking scrotum and your name is Stephen Miller. So
Oh, the
the
modern Nazi.
the a lot of it had to do with refugee visas and the abuse behind that, and the fact that our system was overwhelmed with that. So we didn't have enough anything to really process that. And more people were applying for like refugee status and things like that. It's also like, let's be honest, we created a lot of these issues in the world. Like South America is a fucking mess because of us.
We
A
love
little bit of their
drugs.
own, but a lot of it's because of us.
That's what I said.
we
We love drugs.
we love drugs, but we love drugs, but also we are fucking with like the political or whatever.
I
Either
mean, you could not touch any continent, and I'm talking the Penguin War and Antarctica too, without the CIA being involved.
yeah,
They're everywhere.
that's true. They're in the Falkland Islands right now,
I
doing
feel
God
like
knows what.
they just do shit just to stir the pot because war is money. Because
Because
there's no
yeah,
way you can go into another country and interrogate stuff and instigate without there being some kind of malice. Because I mean, if you don't get involved and there was peace before you got there, you're the problem.
oh, there might have been peace, but you know, it
It
wasn't
wasn't
American peace.
profitable
Yeah,
peace.
exactly. It
Yeah.
was the equivalent of Omni Man going like, Nicaragua isn't yours to conquer.
Yes.
Like, the Nicaraguan government is not yours to destabilize. China, get out of here, or whoever.
We're taking
They're
that.
like, oh, America's here already.
Oh shit. Y'all were implanted here? Yeah, we've been here
Yeah,
about 10 years.
yeah. The CIA is like the Viltrumites are just CIA, right? Like,
That's it. Yeah. They live amongst us now.
yeah. So, anyways, so I say all that to say, like, that became a situation that was really rough for the cities that were greatly affected, and it pissed people off a lot. Like, this is not fucking cool. And whether you like it or not, like, you tap into that anger in a time of um, fear post COVID, and a time of like waning economic security. And quite frankly, they've been defunding education, public education, like, and
Yes.
universities, higher ed for a while. People are getting dumber. Like, we have access to significantly more information, but also more propaganda. And so people are getting
Yes.
a little dumber.
Yeah.
You're not getting the same civics training. Go back to, I think we talked about this a little bit, you and I, because, Cass High School, I remember talking to some folks that graduated from Cass,
Hmm.
and the curriculum at a fucking high school, now granted, it's a really, really good high school, but the
Oh, yeah.
curriculum there was like college level. I was like, shit,
Yes.
you took that in high school? They're like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, that used to be the goddamn norm. Like, go talk to people that graduated 30 years ago and see what they fucking
Yes.
took.
Because
And you're like,
my
oh,
sister Chris, my niece Deja, and Isis graduated from there.
yep, yep. So did Gerald.
Yep.
Yep.
GB.
Yep. I mean, older, the generation before, like, to hear him talk about the kind of shit that they studied, like, holy shit. That
Because they were
is,
really preparing them for something.
yes, that
Yes.
doesn't happen anymore. It's about behavioral, it's about other shit. It's like, it's too much. And it's too much for the teachers to deal with. And they cut all the funding. There's no
A
arts, there's no
whole lot
nothing
of
else.
funding. Yes.
So, meanwhile, corporations are doing real good.
Yes.
Always
Those That's the only area that has seen a significant increase in the past few decades.
the military. It's always money for bombs, Pharrell.
Yes.
Always
Oh,
money for bombs.
war will always be funded.
So, anyways, I know we got perfectly off topic, but I do think that this breakdown, this left right, it's always delivered to us in this really simplistic. Well, which team is in favor of it? Which team is not in favor of it? And that's just not how people function. Even Americans that are heavily propagandized, like, we just don't function that way. We
But
don't
that's why I
think in that way.
also painted, even though they tell us it's two parties, there's at least eight. And they could break up at any time. They could be different factions if they so chose. But I believe there's more. It's more of a control chaos if they just tell you you're either on the blue side or the red side.
Yeah.
You could divide a nation easier binary than via 8 to 10 different parties because then, it's more options and you like, oh, well, they kind of speak to me, but they really speak to me. And,
Yep. Yep.
yeah, you're not having an 8-way battle royal. This isn't WWE, but one on one, oh, well, you got to pick a side. And they'll just keep shoving that down our throats.
Yep. It's true.
Yes. Did you want to
Anything
hit
else?
the main topic? Oh,
Let's do it. Yeah. I was gonna say the
okay.
same thing.
Oh, so today's topic is focusing on political violence.
Woohoo!
And
Wait, that's not a woohoo. What the fuck? So, God.
well, that is part of the first question, not asking woohoo directly, but is it ever is it ever a solution?
Yes, it absolutely is
That's
a solution.
yes.
Yes, it
Um
absolutely is. Usually in the short term, and
that's
usually
the point.
in, yeah, that's where it gets problematic. It is not a long term solution. It
Because
destabilizes
us
the fuck out of everything. What's up?
as a nation always takes that short term, whether it's the short sightedness of J. Edgar Hoover looking for MLK, or the short sightedness of us going, you know what, if we kill Saddam, all the problems will be solved.
No, even focusing just in the US, I mean, go back through our history and start looking through like all the times that political violence was used. It was literally like every 15 to 20 years from the before, yeah, before Civil War. Although you could also count the Revolutionary War, where they were like finding. I mean, after the Revolutionary War, they were finding like British loyalists and fucking like tar and
Oh
feathering
yeah.
them and shit. And then after that, once they started getting a really squirrely about the whole slave and black rights thing,
Uh-huh.
they had who's that one dude, the crazy guy, John Brown, who had like
Yes.
he was like raided shit. Like they had major political upheavals, assassinations of like vice presidents and stuff like that, or people that were running for the presidency or some sort of seat. There was a lot of assassinations. There was a lot of the duels, which is ridiculous.
Those
But it seemed
duels
to
are
go.
wild.
Yeah. But it was like every 15 to 20 years, some crazy shit would be happening. And then as it got closer and closer, because I think the boiling point was the boiling over point was all around the slavery thing, where you've had
Yes, oh
clearly
absolutely.
this large divide in the country that you've got. I love that I'm saying this to you, but you've got this
Yeah.
large divide in the country where I think similar to now, where you've got this huge group on both sides that just are really fucking angry about like the status quo, and either they're trying to maintain the status quo or they're pissed off about it, or they hate the other side because they don't understand our way of life and all that shit.
Hmm.
And one side looks at the other side and is like, you all are fucking crazy. Like, how the fuck can you be
Exactly.
this inhuman and treat people like this?
How
And the
can
other
you
side's
live this
like,
way?
yeah, and the other side's like, this is what our freedom costs. This is what it takes. We have to treat them horribly. Otherwise, you know, the whole fucking system falls apart, kind of thing. So
Yep.
each one of them somehow is self identified as a way of like, this has to either change or this has to stay the same. Otherwise, or this has to happen or continue happening. Otherwise, I die, everyone dies. Like, it's this existential crisis. And that's, I feel like right now, instead of releasing the pressure, I feel like this administration and this president are turning
Oh,
it
they're heating
up.
it up.
Yeah, they're
Yes.
stirring the pot and heating it up as much as possible. They put the lid on and they're just like, let's see what the fuck happens.
And they just keep
And
throwing more fuel into the fire.
yes, and there was a lot of that, whether it was riots, whether it was John Brown's raids in, what was it, 1850 some shit. He raided Virginia, and that took like that was like a warming up for the Civil War, and
Yes.
then during Reconstruction, excuse me, um, where all the horrific shit was happening to the freedmen, all
Uh-huh.
like slaughterings, killings, etc. Um, and who was it that backed down? There was a I think when the Civil War had first ended, they gave a lot of the land to the freed slaves. Like, you
Yes.
guys have been working this shit generations anyways. It's yours now.
They're like,
And
hey, you earned it.
I don't remember who the fuck backed down on that. That was the initial plan. I think they started putting that plan through, and then there was a backing down. And I don't think they ever should
Yes.
have. That was the only way you
No.
were ever going to like move forward as a country. 100 fucking years ago, 160 years ago was our
That was
opportunity to
as
do
close
that.
as it was gonna ever be to reparations.
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
To like, hey, and at that point, blacks made up a fucking infinitesimally small percentage of the population. Like, they could have
Yes.
gotten all that land and it really wouldn't have mattered. Well, I guess it mattered to the
Well, it would
racist
have
bastards that
mattered
were,
to yes.
yeah.
It just
Well,
wouldn't have mattered to the grand scheme of
overall,
what America was doing. Yes.
yes. Yeah. The overall picture of the country, it was tiny. It was a blip. And instead, it just, for whatever
But that's
reason,
the sad truth of power and control.
and that's also brings me back to my point of like, it destabilizes and never actually gets like the whole it never like moves the country forward in my opinion. Like
Absolutely.
that political violence that happened to the free black slaves, the well, blacks in the whole part of the country, but like
Hmm.
even before that, small like the raid that didn't turn the temperature down, that turned it the
No.
fuck up. That's what got us to the Civil
Yes.
War, shit like that.
It
And I'm
was the
not
precursor to the Civil War.
right, and I am not putting a moral judgment on any of that, by the way. I'm just saying, like, objectively, this is what happens. You will get a lot of attention to it. It will be like kind of a lightning rod, and then people are going to polarize. And on top of that, you will oftentimes, if it doesn't like, if you aren't able to completely overthrow the government, you will get a strong backlash. Like,
And it
you got,
always results in unquantifiable amount of violence
yes, yes, humans are
every
horrible
time.
to each other. Yes.
Yes, because they have to show their might. There will be a retaliation that far exceeds whatever was done to them, but it's the government. They have to show that.
Yeah, it's the reason why every like military planning is always escalate like, it always ends in, like, nuclear weapons
Yes,
within, like, 13 minutes. Like, what the fuck?
it never goes to de-escalation.
Yeah, it's
If they
always
hit us, we
yes.
gotta hit them harder, and no one
Yep.
goes, whoa, whoa. And you're right. It's always 5 steps to a nuke.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
More
God
like
damn,
more
what?
more like 2 with this president, but yeah.
Well, yes, normally. My bad. It's two for real now.
It's 2, yeah, but,
It's
like
constantly him going, "Can we nuke him?
yeah,
Come on, man.
"Give me the football."
Dude, let me do the thing. I always wanted to do this." What?
So, yeah, I think that it can work. I think that you've got small like flare ups, but they have to be under certain conditions. Like it's got to be a revolution. Like it, I say it can work, but like it happened in my country after years of living behind the Iron Curtain. I mean, when did Romania become a communist nation? I mean, obviously after the Russians took us over, but
Yeah.
um, God, I think Ceausescu reigned from 51 or 54, a long fucking time. The dude reigned for like 30 years.
Mm.
And it was definitely during the 50s. I think during the 40s, we were just a vassal state of the Russian, whatever, USSR. And then we were that buffer zone, um, east of East Germany, excuse me. And then as the USSR was getting weaker and weaker, and as the dictator in Romania was getting weaker, in my hometown was where the first like shots of the revolution happened. And
Mm.
that was political violence. They found him, they grabbed him, they pulled him out of his fucking helicopter and executed his family. Like it was pretty
Damn.
fucking wild.
Okay. Wow.
Um
That was straight to the point.
yeah, it lasted slightly longer than that, but it was
But
more efficient
still,
it was more
yes,
efficient
that's
than
why I'm like,
Nuremberg. Yeah.
the
It
job
was
was done.
quick. It was
Yeah.
quick. That man was not a beloved man. And he wasn't smart either, so he didn't understand that people didn't love him, which is tell me if that sounds familiar.
I'm like,
Um,
well,
I can't think of any other country that happens in. So,
yeah. Tell me you're not
um,
holding up a mirror to us.
so I mean, you can see where things like this happen, but that was like an entire overthrowing of the government at that time, and that was
But
just
that
like the
was
first
after
wave.
extreme oppression. People
Yes,
usually have no other choice, and political violence rarely comes from nowhere.
yeah, it's when all other democratic or non-violent options are
When diplomacy
exhausted.
stops
Yeah.
working, people will become violent.
Yeah,
And I'm
there's
not even saying that lightly. I'm just saying that is
yeah.
whether the option is there.
So you see, to try to summarize, you see where it works in a couple different areas.
Hmm.
Um, you see how, on the very, very rare occasion, it can eventually evolve into some sort of long-term stability. Romania is its own country now as a
Yes.
democracy. It's part of the EU, all that good jazz. Um, but I think part of NATO. I think so. I don't really know. I don't know if EU
I want to say
statehood.
yes, but
I
I'm
want.
not
I,
sure.
I want to say yes, but I don't know how that whole interplay between EU and NATO actually works. So, anyways,
Uh,
um,
yeah.
but the issue there is what will get you. What is the greatest chance to get you long term stability? It's actually nonviolent um, protesting and just gumming up the works. There's ways to do this. There's ways to really
What
slow
worked
down the
for Hungary?
machinery. Yeah, what worked for a lot of fucking
That
countries, like
was the best example. Well, the most recent
the most recent.
example
Yeah, yeah.
of what had happened with what you say.
Well, that's even different. They voted his like, I mean more along the lines of what happened in Minnesota.
Uh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay. Can we back on?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So what I was gonna say was um the whole Minnesota stuff or anything that happened within civil rights.
That as well. Yes.
So
Yes,
that was
indeed.
nonviolent. That was, I mean, that woman didn't try to run anybody
Oh,
over. Mhm.
keep going. I mean,
No, no, go
cut
ahead.
you
Go
off.
ahead.
You were coming in choppy, so I didn't know if you stopped talking.
No, go ahead.
I heard you mention Minnesota. I think you were alluding to the woman that was killed.
Mhm. Yeah, Renee
Yes,
Good.
and them handling that with peaceful protesting.
Yeah. Yep, that's exactly what I was
Was that
talking
what you
about.
were getting at?
Yeah, that one, and, like, that was she didn't try to run anybody over. That other dude wasn't attacking anybody. He had a gun on him. He was executed. But that looks terrible for the regime. They're just out here executing people. Meanwhile, those people were, for the most part, peaceful. Like, I get it. She panicked and tried to drive away, and it was generally in his direction. And so he freaked out like a little bitch and shot her 3 times in the head and then called her a fucking bitch because he's a little fucking baby.
Yes, those were two lives that didn't have to be lost.
Mhm. Because of ill-trained.
I
No,
also
go ahead.
think the protesting in LA was pretty good as well.
Yep, yep. Good point on that one, yes.
Yeah, I do like that because it was definitely over the way that ICE was treating the immigrants and the threats that they were receiving. And I appreciate how so many people came out in support because that was a massive turnout.
Yeah.
That was the purest definition of yes, peaceful protesting. And I've seen a lot of even here in Virginia, um, the no king signs, and there have been people gathering in rotation around here. Hell, I've been seeing it every week at different overpass. And I know they're
Yes.
gonna ramp up in June because his birthday's coming up, Flag Day, and definitely I don't know what the fuck to expect for July the 4th.
That's gonna be wild.
I what you say?
I said that's gonna be wild.
Yes, and that is what makes me a bit uncomfortable
How so?
because I don't know how much will be. spectacle, of course, for the 250th anniversary, and how much will be a show of strength of what the country will try to become going forward.
Okay.
Because I think it's gonna, there's a potential for it to get out of hand. And I don't know what route it will take or what it will become. Hopefully, it's just a celebration, but there's just too much duality and there's too much of a powder keg in there, and there's people feeling a certain way of what they want to label as patriotism, and it's gone a bit far. Know what I mean?
Uh, no. Tell me. What do you mean?
I feel like, especially, well, the nation as a whole has always been patriotism from a certain point of view, depending on who you are and what it means to be an American. And that doesn't always have the same sunshine as it would from somebody, whether you're black, you're Hispanic, whether you're Native American, and what your experiences generationally and from your family and your individual experiences are kind of weighs differently on your patriotism. And I
Hmm.
don't like that there are a bunch of people that make patriotism, if you say anything against the country, you're not patriotic. And I think for me, it's the complete other way. If
Hmm.
you are a patriot of this nation, you should question and want things to be better, and you shouldn't be satisfied with anything less. I feel as though the the erasure of history that's been going on, whether it be with slavery or civil rights or what happened with the Native Americans or what happened with Mexico owning all of Southwest the United States and that kind of being eradicated from what truly existed before, how Hawaii was acquired and
Hmm.
all of these other deals. It There's so much to the American story, and just to try to paint it with a brush of beauty only is a lie. And I mean, in the 250 years, a lot has happened. A whole lot that made it what it is now. And we weren't the good guys all the time, or even most of the time. But good things can still happen. But just, we don't need to act as if the bad things didn't. And that kind of bothers me. And people trying to sugarcoat that with, if you just focus on the bad, you're not really a patriot. Or if you bring that up, you're just trying to complain about the country. And if you really don't love the country, you should leave it. And I think loving the country is accepting it for what it is and wanting it to be better than where we are now.
I think that's a great explanation. I agree with you there. Um,
Oh, thank you.
I think that I think that you and I are in agreement on that point, or on many of those points. But like, how are you going to get things better without a critical eye on them? And I think that's where some of my frustration comes into play. Is, and again, to my point of like, we've gotten dumber, the education has gotten worse, et cetera, et
Hmm.
cetera. In that,
Yes.
like, how how it, being critical of something or thinking about something critically does not mean that you hate it or that you are disrespecting it.
Yes. Keep
Like,
talking.
I can complain about my wife. Look, this woman, this goddamn woman, every single week we have a bin. We have a recycling bin. I should take a picture of it, send it to you. It fills up
Okay.
probably, it is probably about as full as it can be near the end of Friday. All right.
Okay.
For the next
Yeah.
2 to 3 days, because we don't have trash day until Monday. This
Okay.
woman will continue to pile shit on top, knowing that I can't possibly, and she doesn't take it out. I can't possibly take this shit out
Like I
without
can't
making,
close this bag.
yeah, without
Yes.
multiple trips. But she'll keep
Yes.
piling up. Like it'll be some sort of Jenga fucking thing where like if I were to even touch it, the whole thing spills everywhere, and then I spend the next like minute and a half of my life picking
Yes.
shit up that didn't need to be picked up. Where she could have just like
Got
taken it out
another bag.
herself. God, yeah, there were other solutions, but instead she put that shit on top. I love this woman. She's fine.
Yes. Yes.
This is a relatively minor thing, and I'll bring it up. Be like, hey, would you mind taking that out? And it's
Hmm.
like I don't disrespect her. I don't hate her. I got nothing about it. But yo, this recycling bin situation. How can we address this in a more constructive way so that we both have outcomes that we're satisfied with? And
But
that's
that's
how
a great analogy.
and that is kind of how you should feel towards your country too. Just like,
Yes.
look, I love this place. It ain't
Yes.
perfect, but this place overfills the fucking recycling bin and leaves me with extra work to do. And I don't think that's right. So
Exactly.
let's have the conversation about what's wrong. Let's identify a couple solutions. I want to hear what you have to say. I want you to hear what I have to say. And then we just solve it.
That's true.
I know that's novel and crazy, but like, yo, how about we do that? And I think I think you're right in terms of like people wrap their patriotism up in that. I think they wrap their identity up in their patriotism.
Oh yes.
So when you are attacking or honestly just having a mild criticism towards
Hmm.
the current structure or whatever the case is,
Hmm.
um, what you're doing is attacking the core of their entire lives and identity, and they cannot handle it because they've never had the kind of like training and education, and quite frankly they might have had too much lead as a child. um
Yes.
like, hey, look, kiddo, I know it's sweet and it's crunchy and it feels good on your gums, but those paint
You
chips are not going to
gotta
do you any good.
stop eating that.
Yeah, stop eating it, kid. um the school was
But
built
you
in
don't love the
54.
Constitution, bro?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Look, it was very important that they took lead out of gas and paint in the 70s. Okay.
Yes. Oh,
we
we'd
have
be way farther off the reservation if they didn't.
I
God.
wonder I wonder if like half the dementia we see right now is just because these motherfuckers grew up with like lead paint and shit.
I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't rule it out. There's so many things like that. Agent Orange, water filtering. There's so many things that we've had to deal with in the
Yeah.
past that they
Yeah.
eventually go, oh shit, we probably shouldn't have been putting that in our bodies.
I know.
And then it doesn't happen until decades later that dementia and all these other mental and physical health issues pop up and they can't really correlate it because too much time has passed. And by the time that they do connect it, they go, you know what? Yeah, that wasn't working out for us. Huh. Maybe we shouldn't have put asbestos in the buildings. Huh. Well, what can you do?
No, asbestos is a great thing. Just don't crack it up and snort it. Asbestos is like
There
one of
you
the
go.
greatest building materials ever.
But yeah, no.
Just, we were done with how we just. So that's part of it too. Is like, okay, if you're gonna have this thing and it's amazing, uh, maybe we get rid of it in a intelligent and safe manner. But no, that costs money, and we don't want to do that to these
They're
poor,
like,
poor.
whoa, whoa, you want to spend what? Ah, fuck that.
Can't you think of the shareholders, Soren? These poor shareholders, they're just trying to get profits. Okay, just think of the next quarter. Um, but no, that would cost money. That would cost you the asbestos is probably not the best example, but like Dow Chemical probably dumps God knows fucking what into Lake Michigan, and be like, that's $25,000 per dump. They're like, yeah, but to build a plant would be $1.3 billion, so we'll just pay that 25K if you don't mind. And then you're like, God
I'm like,
damn it, I
God
hate you.
damn it. Fuck. They got
You're
too
like,
much money.
We got to up them fucking.
That's what I was gonna say. Increase the fines. I'm like, all right, that's 20 million a dump.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Yeah. That's $1.3 billion a dump. Now get your ass on a fucking thing.
you better start building that fucking plant. Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, the fuck, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, the patriotism and that.
Yes.
I think I was talking to somebody, and then ironically, there was a podcast recently that also had it, um, where they're like, yeah, but you know, what you and I are talking about, and I do love longer form, and I do love the ability to have like a good in-depth conversation.
That's why we're
Um,
here, baby.
yep, and I get that we're not experts of everything. We try to read as much as
No.
possible, but
Yes.
um, a lot of it is we need like simple stories just as like human beings. That's why, even the Bible is just a dirt simple fucking story. Once you get
Yes.
like what they push there is really dirt simple. Like love each other, really simplistic stories about
Yes.
very complicated, nuanced times. Like I remember when they were, God, I think it was. This is always dumb. It's always all dumb. But when the Passion of the Christ came out, they're like,
Mm-hmm.
it makes Jews look bad. I was like, well, the Jews probably hated him. Like that's a
Yeah.
nuanced. Look at the amount of hate that we have now for people. Dude, it was 150 years ago. I actually don't know how long ago, but like Protestants and Catholics were murdering the ever living fuck out of each other. And
For
they're in the
minor
same
differences.
religion. Yeah, for minor
Yeah.
fucking interpretations. And they're fine now. Nobody even gives a shit. Um, and hasn't for like 50
And if you
years,
ask them,
maybe.
they like, you know what? I don't even remember what we were fighting about.
Yeah. So like, yeah, they at some point like tempers flare up. Someone brings in new ideas that threatens your power base. Yeah, you're gonna hate them.
Hmm.
Like, but we smooth over that because I don't think people want to hear the complicated nuance story. It's complicated. Like the whole Palestine and Israel thing. That
Israel,
shit's
yeah.
insanely fucking complicated.
Oh yes.
Iran is insanely fucking complicated. Anyone could have told President Trump, and I'm sure they fucking did, be like, yo, that's not going to be over in a week. That's just not going to, this isn't going to be a Venezuela,
We
Maduro
all
type shit.
knew when he said that that wasn't the case. Only he thought or tried to lie. There was no
Mhm.
way that was ever going to be the truth.
You just don't attack like a 4,000-year-old culture and be
The
like, we got
Persian
this.
Empire was going to
Dude,
let you leave in a week.
we lost to some jungle folk in Vietnam, and I mean lost
Yes.
bad.
Yes.
That and they didn't have as many mountains and
That
deserts
was
and all
the
this shit to
purest
fucking hide in.
definition of home court advantage.
Dude,
Vietnam showed up and showed out and was like, don't bring y'all asses over here with that
it,
bullshit.
and they didn't beat us with missiles. Iran has
No.
fucking missiles.
Yes. And a
Ugh.
whole lot of patience for vengeance.
And now they're totally cool.
Yeah.
Like for the most part. It's such a
Yeah.
weird. Like going back to all of this political violence and all of that, it turns up
Yes.
the temperature on things and doesn't really allow for like a reconciliation to happen. The reconciliation does inevitably need to happen. America will need to have a reconciliation with its quite frankly horrific past.
Yes.
You're going to need to reconcile what you've done to the
I
natives. You're
honestly wish that was the 250th anniversary's focus.
I think there's too much shame.
And I don't deny, actually, I know that from what I was saying, but I just wish it was addressed
Yeah,
because the shame isn't going to go away, but the conversation will remain that it needs to be had.
yeah,
And I don't know how to start it on a grand scale, but I guess all of us could do it on a smaller scale individually and in smaller groups because the conversation, we got to have these, man. Because you know what? That shit at the UN really bothered me. Not acknowledging slavery and being one of three nations, America, Israel, and Argentina. That's wild because America And Argentina definitely benefited from the transatlantic slave trade.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't even know what Israel was doing at that meeting, but okay. Um, sure, you didn't exist then, but why not? Fuck it. And your history doesn't have slaves in it at all, right? You couldn't empathize.
I can't think of any
Sure.
stories. Nope, not off the top of
Yeah.
my head.
And I went, America, what the fuck? What the fuck? Even the Pope acknowledged that slavery's wrong and he has to lead pedophiles. So what are y'all doing here? I mean, yikes. And it just it was a stomach churning moment.
We're going through a lot of those lately,
Yes, very true.
like mask off situations where people were. I'm like, oh wow, you're pretty horrific. I didn't think you were, but you
Well,
are.
yes.
This is a surprise. I was. I don't know why, but I just didn't think it was this bad. Like,
Well,
I think that going back to the elections in 16 and in 24,
hmm
um, and even '08 and 12, if you really want to go there. Like,
hmm
I think that there is a unspoken or relatively not well acknowledged part where, like, I think running a woman for certain positions puts them automatically behind, but I don't think it's insurmountable. I think running a person of color puts them behind in a certain way, depending obviously who the voter base is, but I'm just speaking
hmm
generally.
I got
And I don't think any of these are insurmountable. I think that these can be overcome. They are, I hope, smaller in scale and continue to get smaller in scale. But I feel like in the last few years it has started to reverse.
you.
And
Yes.
I can't speak so much for the female one. Um, although look, she got within striking range. That's pretty fucking close.
Yes. Which is
Um,
why, even though you know I stand on that, I get where you say it's not insurmountable because she was
it's
within
happening.
striking range.
And
Yes.
Obama was like won by a fucking landslide.
Oh, yes.
Um,
By far.
I mean, he
But
basically had to be a fucking black Jesus to do it, but yeah,
yes.
he pulled it off. And he didn't come with baggage, which I think is like I think people
Oh, that's a
underestimate that
massive help. Yes.
because they're like, oh, he's so inexperienced. They're like, yeah, that means he's also kind of not coming with a fuck ton of baggage.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, so and then we run the old white dude in 20 and he beats him.
hmm hmm
And stop the count.
Yeah. Yeah. God.
Oh, what a douche. So
Um,
you get this situation where you've got clearly still a difference. And to not have any of this truly acknowledged in our 250, like we've come a long way as a country. I think the
hmm
gap between um, the races obviously was closer than it was 250 years ago.
Oh,
But then to just
absolutely.
pretend like everything's fine now
That's
isn't the
you.
correct,
You get it.
and it is just not the correct way to go about it. I think it's a complicated history, and I think there's a lot to celebrate here. There really is.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that it was all great. And the very fact that we like can't come to terms with it is is a little disappointing.
It bothers my soul to be completely honest with you, and it is very disappointing that we can't have these conversations, and it disgusts me because you're absolutely right, and I'm 100% sure it is because of shame, but god damn, how long you gonna rest in that place? And that's what the problem is, and we could never truly heal and transcend if we continue. And as you mentioned earlier with the education, when they started removing the ugly air quotes part of history, I went,
Mhm.
damn.
When they
If
did
that
a
isn't a massive step back, what the fuck is?
when they just did like a control F find and replace or find and delete, and they
Yes.
eliminated the Enola Gay, you just knew there was no intellect behind how this was happening.
No.
And you're right, they're starting to like it's crazy to go back and so this is a guilty pleasure of mine.
Hmm.
There's a subreddit called Black People Reddit, which is hilarious.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
It's I don't know if it's all black people. There's probably a bunch of whites, hanging out, but I lurk and they'll post shit, whether I agree or disagree. It's always informative in because it's like a view into a culture that you don't get to step into like on a day to day, especially in Oregon, on a day
Hmm.
to day
I
basis. Like
got you. Oh yeah.
when I was actually in Detroit, like I was the minority and it was a little different. This is like you're surrounded
Yes.
by that culture, you get to interact with those people.
Yes.
And they're more comfortable because they're like, I'm in my fucking place. I'm not a visitor in your place. I'm in my fucking
Yes.
place. Yeah.
Totally different.
It's a different vibe. So
And you remind me, not to cut you off,
mhm.
of a white friend I got that enjoys before it became X. He would enjoy the knowledge that he got from Black Twitter.
Like Twitter. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Even if it was just, cultural gems or historical knowledge, it felt like getting behind the veil.
Yeah. Or just bitch
And I'm
about
like,
white
oh,
people. Like,
yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, that's
And
fine.
still, there were times he's just sitting there and he goes, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Honestly. You're like, yeah, okay. I so it's a guilty pleasure of mine. I
Hmm.
enjoy that, but one of them was like I think the last couple days, it made the rounds or it was reposted a couple times where it was like, here's the shit that black people invented. It is an extensive fucking list.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Holy
Yeah.
shit. I get people inventing all the time, but like what women and black people have invented is
Yes.
is really quite incredible. Like the light bulb, the incandescent light bulb.
Yep.
And this is not shit we learn in school. I don't know the name of the person who invented the incandescent light bulb.
Yes. But they shoved Thomas Edison down our throats.
Exactly. I know
Hmm.
the name of the white man who invented the bill.
Yes. It's always easy to remember who to hate.
Oh, fuck, I'm part of the problem, aren't I? Anyways, so I think that's a valid point. And this is a specifically interesting conversation around political violence, especially
Hmm.
around like civil rights,
Yep.
because and I kind of I hope I'm not speaking with your point of view, but I enjoy discussing this with our specific points of view,
Hmm.
where you'd be coming from, specifically in this country, and then like how it technically worked in my country. But also, there were a lot in my country that did not work. Like I know my grandfather on my mom's side, like he was a bit of an agitator. He did not fucking like the communist regime and spoke out about it. His
Mm.
ass got hauled away several times. Like they beat his
Oh
ass in the
shit.
street, like the secret police and all that shit.
Damn.
Like they did all sorts of fucked up shit to my family.
Damn.
And so, and there was a lot of shit that was illegal, like 1984 shit. Like they didn't want you hoarding money. They specifically didn't want you hoarding gold and silver, right? They
Shit.
wanted you to, and tell me if any of this sounds familiar. They didn't want you hoarding like assets in any sort of way. They wanted you to use the state-sponsored assets. So,
Yep.
so at some point I think we had like a neighbor that narked on us or something like that, but
Oh
they were
man.
hiding gold and silver in the walls.
Shit.
And um on top of that, I had an aunt that ran like she was in Yugoslavia, so just across the border,
Hmm.
and she ran like a smuggler's den kind of situation. Like it
Oh
wasn't
wow.
it was a stop. It was like before people would go into the country with,
Hmm.
however they were going to, they would stop there and like rest up and refuel whatever, and then they'd go into the country.
Wow.
Um, to deliver their smuggled goods and jeans and chocolate and shit. I'm not even talking about weapons, man. I'm talking about like
Oh yeah.
here's some fucking Hershey's. Like,
I
um,
think they were getting armed up like in Ukraine, but
yeah,
hey, it
no,
still
man,
works. I
no.
get it.
So
I
that was
mean, you
super
still had
lucrative.
a rather rebellious family, so that's pretty cool.
So, we they do that shit, and it's just interesting. Like it didn't work until it did, but
Yes.
the
Like, I
peaceful
mean, think
protest.
about how many fucking not only protests, those sit-ins where people were getting their asses whooped
Yeah.
during the civil rights. I mean, you had to be committed to having people pouring milkshakes on you, throwing burgers, doing all this other stuff, spitting on you, and you just
Mhm.
sit there. And no better phrase to it didn't work until it did. And to stay there and commit day after day or week after week, however frequently you did it, until eventually the dam breaks. And that's the problem, is that dam don't always break that soon, if at
Mhm.
all. And you never know, because for us, history is always better to see in reverse. But when you're in the moment and you're doing that, that's hard. That's hard to keep doing that. And at some point, you're going, is this fucking worth it? Is this gonna pan out? I don't want to keep taking this shit. But you stay on course.
Yeah, they didn't know it was gonna
And
work.
no, you don't. That's scary. You literally commit to the bit.
Mhm.
And hey, hats off to everyone that rebels never know if they're going to succeed, and they don't always see themselves as even being rebels. We call them that. They just see themselves as doing what's right because they see an insurmountable wrong. And they like, yo, I can't go along with this. I gotta do something. And that's courage. That's real heroism.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. So I don't care if Jan was giving out Hershey. Shit, people needed it. It counted. Your grandfather taking them ass whoopings, man. That shit's real. Because for me, after the first one, you start thinking like, damn, they really fucked me up. But he like, nah, I'm not done. I'm gonna keep going because this is what's right. And they put
Yeah.
so much fear into your community, your neighbors snitching, so they, in air quotes, are seen more favorably.
Man, it was interesting. When I went back
Because
and
snitches
visited,
really don't ever get benefits, but you think, hey, if I tell, I'll be okay.
I remember, like, this must have been what people were like in the 1950s, but I remember, coming back. Was I in my teens or was I 10? I think I was 10 years old. We went back in
Okay.
1990 when I was 10, then again
Okay.
when I was 19 or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And, so when I was 10, this was fairly recently after the wall fell and after,
Hmm.
we'd switched out of communism. And
Hmm.
there's some older gentlemen sitting on the park bench. Can't remember if I'm with my dad or my grandpa, one of them.
Hmm.
And he just nods towards the guy. He's like, that was one of the members of the Communist Party. And
Mm.
like, there's this moment. It was interesting because he was just like, he wasn't afraid of him. He was kind of angry at him. Like you could
Mm.
tell there's like no respect in his voice. It's just like, that's, it's like, there's, that's a Nazi right there. Like, that's
Yes,
gotta be
that's
what
what
that
I
fucking
was saying.
felt like. Like, he's like, that motherfucker was part of the party. Huh. Just sitting around here,
That's the
throwing
best
some
assessment.
seeds. Yeah, throwing some seeds to some fucking pigeons
Ye
over here.
fucking birds.
He's like, huh, all right. Enjoy your freedom, old fuck. Like you're just
Fuck.
like, yeah, that like, fuck
Yeah,
this guy.
this
Can't believe this guy's still
motherfucker.
around. Yeah. He's like, I know this guy. He was a member of the
It's,
Communist Party. He was high up.
God damn.
He's sitting there on a park bench, like feeding fucking pigeons and shit. What if I
I
think it was
can't
my grandpa?
imagine seeing somebody, and I guess that's why those cowards wear masks, being like, that motherfucker was in the Klan.
Yeah, right?
I can't even imagine.
It's like, oh, that motherfucker was a nice. That,
What the fuck?
holy shit,
I
there's Christy.
said,
You imagine you're like, holy shit, there's Christy Gnome. Holy fuck. What the fuck?
holy shit, what is she doing feeding pigeons?
Bitch, are you feeding cats and pigeons? What the fuck you doing?
God damn.
I should have. God, how the fuck? Whatever, man. like,
And you
like that,
fell off.
that reaction right there is how,
That's
like,
it.
yeah,
Yes. Why isn't anyone throwing a brick at your head?
yeah, right. Like, I can't believe you're still
Yeah.
walking around.
You have no shame.
They didn't prosecute you, huh? All right. Well,
Damn. We should have carved that
you
swastika
know,
into your forehead.
yeah, the unwritten, yeah, exactly. The unwritten next thought was like, I'd have fucking drowned you. I'd have drowned you in
Yeah.
4 inches of water. I don't give a fuck. I don't
I
think
would
you
have
should be
just
walking
held your
around.
head down.
Yeah. It's just like the final swirly, the big swirly they would have
Yep.
called it. They would
The
change the
big
name of
flush.
Swirlies. It would be the Christy Gnome or whatever.
The big.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy to think about that. It's crazy to think in years from now, his cabinet's going to have to be outside.
Mm.
They're going to have to face some of the backlash from their sins. And that kind of brings us back to the possibility of political violence.
It's like,
Because,
is hold on. That before we go down this rabbit hole, because I like this question.
Mhm.
Um, when you know what? I apologize for cutting you off. I want to hear what you have to say first, but I'm going to hold my question because I think it's a good one.
Okay, hold on to it. Because I do want to hear it.
Mhm.
My concern is people will be rightfully upset, especially if they aren't trial and persecuted for what they did. Because they're doing fucked up shit. They're being horrible human beings. I don't give a fuck. We are at this conversation if it's legal or not. They're doing diabolical shit to the country. And when they are back out amongst us, what will become of them? Because there will be those of us that will be completely angry with these people. And I wonder, will MAGA still defend them? And because it's going to spark some desires for violence, especially if they go unscathed and they walk away and maybe gives pardons or whatever the fuck happens. So, what is your question to this?
Do you consider prosecution political violence?
Oh, that is a good question. Mm, like if the courts were to get them,
Well,
no,
I mean, me either. I don't either. But you
no,
could see how this could potentially look like a witch hunt. I do believe that
and it
there
will
are.
be, and I will accept that. It will be.
Okay.
I won't go against saying that, and I won't be hypocritical because it has to be, and we can't back down from that because these people have to be brought to justice of some sort. I
Hey,
I I can't accept them just walking away on what would that be, January of 2029, going like, well, our job's done. Is everyone cool? You can't go back.
you can't be like the sheepdog and the coyote. Be like, hey, Frank. Hey,
Yep.
Will.
Like we just clocked out
Yeah,
and
we just.
hey, that was just an act. I was
Yeah,
under Trump. This is what I was just following orders. You can't
it's
go
fun.
around doing that.
I think you bring up a good point. I do think you're going to make people. This is going to be really tough, and I think it'll be a sign of what is to come with the Democratic Party because I think the
Mhm.
Democratic Party is at a real shit spot right now. One second.
Yes.
I need a sip of water.
And had
Um,
it.
so I think it's in a shit spot. I think they put themselves in that shit spot. I think they're really, really loving that corporate teat. I think
Mm-hmm.
that they have done nothing to slow down corporations.
Mm-mm.
Although I have been very, very excited to read that Hawaii and some other states have found ways to work around.
Thought that was fucking awesome
Yeah,
having corporations be individuals.
Citizens United.
Yes.
I fucking love this shit.
God
Um,
bless.
and so some of them are getting savvy. Look, man, the Republicans, in their fucking infinite stupidity have laid the foundation for fascism in the country. And there
Yes.
is no fucking, not a single goddamn guarantee that the next fascist or whatever comes after Donald Trump fucking croaks, because he goddamn
Hmm.
will be a conservative or a Republican. And the next one that comes might actually be a left wing populist.
Quite possibly, yes.
And that is a person that, if they use the courts, they will have all of the momentum of a group that hates and is pissed off at the Republicans. Because I'm gonna tell you right now that, what was it, 6 months, 9 months, 6 to 9 months after the big oil crisis back in the '70s, we went
Hmm.
through a massive fucking recession.
Hmm.
If you
Yes, yes,
recall, we went into Iran in what, late February, early March.
yes.
So come fall, things are going to be really fucking bad around here. We already have many signs that a recession is already building. Spending is down significantly. We have debt at 1.2
Oh,
trillion
I was gonna
dollars
say 3 trillion for credit card debt.
for credit card debt. That is correct. The
Yes,
highest it's ever been. Now, I do understand that
yes,
we are also comparing it to inflated dollars, because
yes.
inflation has taken place. However, so it's not 100% apples to apples. I do think I should probably get, I could do it now, but maybe later, an inflation calculator to see what that is in like 2018 dollars. Um,
Damn thing
but
might blow
yeah, right. But
up.
like, and then compare what 2018 inflation was, because 2018 the economy wasn't doing too bad.
Mm-mm.
Um, but these sorts of like not modifiers, metrics are signaling that there's going to be a significant slowdown. At the same time, and I'm already receiving articles, this shit that you and I have talked about for like a year, maybe two, about
Mm-hmm.
AI removing a lot of the, or taking up a lot of the entry level jobs. So the
Yep.
pipeline into well paying jobs, ergo the pipeline into the middle class, is now starting to dry up a little bit.
Yes.
And this is just the first trickle of what's going to happen. Um, Colleges are going to take a while, and universities are going to take a while to pivot to understand what needs to happen. Companies don't really know what they're doing. I also think companies are being real fucking stupid, thinking that they don't need entry level positions.
Ah, yeah.
They think AI is too early at the moment. Maybe the next cycle, maybe 2 years from now, we'll get really, really, really solid ones. I also think that they're good at coding. They can do a lot of interesting things, but they're not quite there yet. Um, and also,
That's
you
for
still
sure.
need humans. Yeah, you still need humans to buy your shit. Like, we're not
The
there yet.
rush to get rid of human employees is it's moving way too fast. And that's just coming from that place of corporate greed.
100%. Well, not even corporate greed. They've invested so much into AI that they have to start getting it
Well, with the
everywhere.
data centers and shit, they gotta make that
Yes.
worthwhile, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's the same thing with ChatGPT and Claude and all them. Like, they're quote unquote free at the moment, but they're not gonna fucking stay free. That's not how
No.
that works.
No, and
They
it's
have
gonna
to
get
start.
significantly expensive, yes.
Mhm. So you get all these companies hooked on it because the companies got rid of all their entry level
Yes.
people. You get them hooked on it, and then you're like, you're gonna need to pay me $10,000 a license or whatever the fuck it is.
They're gonna Microsoft Office our asses.
Yes, yeah, it is
Yeah.
now subscription
Yes.
based. It is no
Uh-huh.
longer, you don't own the software, et cetera, et
Because
cetera,
the
et
whole
cetera.
goddamn world is subscription based.
Yep, you will own nothing and be happy.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And that's the world we're going with. And if you want
Yes.
Chat GPT without advertisements, maybe
Yeah.
you
Like
can
no
upgrade to our premium
ads.
version, which will only have one ad. Therefore, if you want to upgrade to our premium plus,
Plus.
um, so anyways, I think that you're going to have a really rough time for the country. Let's just the whole world, but let's just say the country in the next 5 to 10 years until this technology integrates and readjusts, and we see exactly how useful it is. Um, it is, like it's still trained off humans. It is still also, unfortunately, grabbing a lot of garbage off the internet. Like
That's
it's
easy.
it's our data that fed this
Yes.
thing and made
Hmm.
it, which is so funny, by the way, of like, again, corporations suck off socialism because corporations are socialist as shit. They just like to pretend they're not.
Yeah.
Sucking off the government teat, the contract, our data, and then selling it back to us as a large language model, and eventually even an AGI or whatever.
Yes.
So, excuse me.
Mhm.
So you get to a point where things are going to be really bad in the next 6 months. And it's possible that there's a blue wave and eventually a blue fucking tsunami that runs into 2028. And that
Mhm.
motherfucker might not be blue. He might be authoritarian blue. Like, we're
Yes.
going to do this. And the purges that could happen with that will be sickening. The regerrymandering and all the other shit. Like, we could, in our
I told you
lifetimes,
my biggest fear is that pendulum just swings very heavy back.
yep.
And we just endlessly go back and forth where nothing's achieved, but there's always just vengeance going back and forth of retaliation.
Well, until somebody breaks it. That's what I'm concerned
Yeah.
with. Like, if it goes far enough left and they wrote and the left decides to start flooding the fucking zone. I think they're a bunch of spineless pussies, but let's just say a group gets in that isn't a bunch of fucking Chuck Schumers and shit and Hakeem
Yeah.
Jeffries. Let's
Yes.
just say a group actually gets in that knows how to pull the levers of power and doesn't want to give them up.
Hmm.
They'll have the mandate of the people, similar to the way that Trump did in 24, where they swept like every fucking thing.
Yes.
And for 2 years, they could dismantle every system. And I don't know what it looks like on the other end of that. I don't know what 2030 looks like on the other end, but it ain't good.
No.
On top of that, you've
No.
got declining population. You've got the boomers using up the last vestiges of their medical care, which is being cut in 2028 anyways. Like, so many things are going to cascade between 27 and 2030 that I don't see us not being in some sort of civil or world war. And that's really fucking concerning to me. So there's this political violence component that, like, I don't believe in the assassinations. I don't believe in like any of this happening in a realistic or intelligent way that provides stability. I see this potentially even increasing where we are going to start seeing people getting shot, like prominent figures getting shot.
Yes.
Because to your point, I think that pendulum is going to swing. It's going to swing heavy, potentially.
Hmm.
I don't. I'm not banking on it, but potentially, this situation could swing real heavily, and now it divides the people even worse because you've basically shown both sides have basically shown their absolute worst tendencies and have
Hmm.
penalized the other side for shit that they've done. Do you remember playing God of War?
Of course.
The recent ones. And okay,
Yes.
for those listening, you go through on the first game and I can't remember if you have the choice or you just do it anyways as part of the story, but essentially the what is it? The dark elves have control. So you go
Yes.
to Elfheim and
Hmm.
there's light elves and dark elves. And the dark
And
elves
they're
have
in a civil
control.
war.
Yeah, they're in a civil war,
Yes.
and it just seems like the dark elves are being real super mean to the light elves. So you're
Hmm.
like, all right, I'll save the light elves and release them from their prison, and
Yes.
then you come back several years later, and the light elves are in charge, and they're
Yes.
treating the dark elves like fucking hot garbage,
They
and
took
you're like,
that way
oh
further.
yeah, and you're like, oh, you're all bad.
Yes. Went, God damn,
Yeah.
ain't no peace here.
I'm concerned that that's what we'll be doing to ourselves.
I got
Like,
what you said as soon as you mentioned God of War. I went, oh man. That'll be it. Yes. I want to say no. I want to believe that it would turn out better, but I really think the optimism in me wants to say no. The logistical part of me goes, yeah, that's most likely what's going to happen. And it's terrifying to think about that retaliation. I would love, and this is still off base, but we were talking about the political figures. Whoever, I would love Congress members to do it, but whoever runs for president next, I would hope they would denounce Israeli money and we put an end to
oh,
this APAC shit. I know it's a big move. I know it's a shift. I know it's some hard shit, but on a smaller scale, we saw Mamdani going, nah, I don't really care to visit Israel. I'm focusing on New York.
that was a
And I went,
hilarious statement.
respect.
Yeah, that was,
And
dude. Yeah,
and I just want to see that on a more, not global, on a national scale,
hmm,
because we shouldn't be this involved.
right.
I mean, that is corruption by far of what we've always accused China and Russia of doing. And I'm not saying they're not, but being really in charge of our elections and swaying that, actually has influence.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, a lot.
And that's
Yes.
terrifying. And it's to the point where people don't even want to speak out against them that are in the political realm or even admit to the funding. I even hear people in interviews like, yeah, I mean, APAC is a bad super PAC, but there's others like, whoa,
Yeah,
whoa,
yeah, yeah.
no, I'm just, yeah. We're focusing on APAC though. Are you getting that money? I mean, there's tons of money. It's coming from everywhere, everywhere. I go, what the fuck is this?
It's like, oh,
Y'all
you
gonna get
are,
killed if you talk against them or you just
yeah,
lose your funding? My God. And
you
that's a
acting real
problem.
squirrely.
Our politics can never be what you and I and millions of people want them to be until we separate from Israel
Damn, I don't think you're wrong on that shit. I think that we should not have a foreign country,
at
any
all.
foreign country. I don't give a fuck who they
None.
are, but I don't
None.
think we should never have someone with that level of monetary and other political control in our country. Like, that's just, that shouldn't even be a crazy statement that I just made.
Exactly. That
But people will be
sullies
like,
the
"Oh my god."
reputation of politics in our
Well,
nation.
I think
Well,
politics does a good
further
job of doing that
than,
itself.
yes. Well, yeah. Our elections. Because I mean,
I
it
think,
goes beyond, because I already think lobbying is just legal bribery.
yeah.
But to take it to those pack groups, that's insane.
And I think you should be allowed, not lobby. Lobby is, I think, the wrong thing. You do need some way to get your um like unique situation to the attention of senators and other folks.
Like
I
focus
don't,
groups. I get it.
yeah, yeah, I don't know how, what, right, like, hey, you probably didn't know, but if you pass that bill, I have to close down the mill.
Yes.
And that thing employs like 8% of your county.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, it's like, yeah. So don't get me wrong. I love the environmental protections, but let's find a different way to do that or string that along. Like, it's a shame that instead of just finding a good, proper solution, they just find like the most like corporatist, like capitalist, shitty fucking way to do that. Be like, oh yeah. So instead of pushing forth that environmental thing, how about we just don't? And I fund and I donate to your thing, to your next election. You're like, oh, okay. Like, you tell me you can't come up with a middle ground there where it's just like,
Yeah, because I'm tired of us running like we're on the fucking Sopranos.
yeah,
Yeah, all these back shady deals, people getting kickbacks. You got to get a little funding. Hey, I'll do it if you line my pockets type shit. And that's why Don was able to succeed because he just exploited it.
hmm
And if we get rid of corruption, we can prevent criminals from benefiting from this system. Let's get a goddamn long term solution. You there, Chip?
yeah, I'm here. Yep,
Okay.
I agree. Thinking.
Oh, gotcha.
So back to the topic of um,
Political violence.
political violence, trying to bring it back. Do because I am concerned that it's actually going to increase. I don't think it solves much. I think it will.
I
I think
think
it's
it
a
just rattles the cage more.
yes, but I also think it's like inevitable when you start fucking with your own populace.
But
And
that
god
was
damn it, like
when
calling.
you
Mhm.
mentioned I didn't mean to cut you off, but when you mentioned Romania, it made me think of oppressed people. Oppressed people eventually reach that level of
Yes,
violence.
they absolutely will.
And
Yes.
we are on that path. We've
hmm
already hit it a few times, but it's going to escalate. And when it does, it's going to get ugly because political violence also makes martyrs of people.
Yeah.
And whether it's depending on which side you're on of how you feel about that person, the other side will feel differently and there will be an opposing force. And at some point, an explosion comes. That is my fear, and that is the truth of political violence. We were all just very fortunate that Charlie Kirk wasn't as big as he could have been at the time. He wasn't who they wanted him to be down the road. He
If he
had a
was like a
following,
senator or
but he
something,
hadn't grown
yeah.
into yes, yes. He didn't make his move into the political realm.
hmm
And if he had been, oh shit, that's Civil War level. That's just the go button from there on. So if someone of more prominence gets killed, it gets ugly.
hmm
But go ahead with your thought, Chip. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just saying that like you have an idiot at the top that's saying shit like these radical leftists are
Oh yes.
terrorists in the country. Be like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
You calling your own people terrorists and you're getting your own people to combat against each other.
hmm hmm
And you're supposed to be president of a nation, but you're continuously promoting division.
Yep.
And I get, you know what? It's gotten to the point where this narrative of the us and them within our own nation, I get different political parties have different views or mission statements, but the goal is always supposed to be for the benefit of your nation.
hmm
And you may come at it a different way, but the goal is supposed to be similar. But now there's become this hatred and this endless. It went from competition to just something dangerous. And he's fueling that. And that
hmm
really bothers me because I've never seen any president fuel it to this degree, to the
Yeah, me either.
point where it is itching for violence to take place.
It, it's like pushing it towards it.
Yes. He's just begging for there to be violence in the streets. And I really don't know how much the people can hold back because you know what? I'm impressed that we've gone this far without just utter chaos. besides, the stuff with ice and whatnot, but the true people on the street saying, fuck this, you don't believe in what I believe in, you on that side, you red, you blue, and actually going at it. Because this has to be fabricated. Because as we discussed earlier, the Civil War is over slavery. There were other issues, but that's the main thing. This right here is being made up. This divide is being created by an idiot and the media and constant propaganda served to us through the internet and the news outlets. This has to be fabricated. And that's disturbing.
It has to be fed, is what you're saying, right? Like it has to,
Yes, they're
like,
creating something bigger from smaller differences.
right,
The Catholic Protestant thing on steroids, and they keep blowing it up, throwing it in our face. Oh, if this is your algorithm, I'm gonna let you know that the other side hates this about you, or you should
right.
hate this about them. And it's constantly over and over and over. And when you really think about it, you're like, what the fuck are we doing? If you really step away, why is this much hatred being promoted? Over what? What's to gain from this? We
That's a good
shouldn't be
question.
sitting at a powder keg.
I mean, he's enriching himself, so there's fucking that.
Oh, I get it.
I
It's the
mean,
distraction why he's lining his pockets. It's the
yeah,
distraction from him being a goddamn pedo. It's there is constant distractions.
yeah. The complete and total loss and fuck up of Iran. Yeah, I think it's shit like
Yes,
that.
he constantly keeps shifting our attention over and over from one fucking mistake and one something criminal over here to, oh, I guess I'll do this over there. Oh shit, they're looking over there. Oh, there's gonna be a UFC fight on the White House lawn. You never seen that, right? Oh, that's not holding your attention. I'm gonna tear down part of the White House and I'm gonna build a ballroom. Huh?
Ah,
Oh,
this.
okay. Oh, there's gonna be a tall monument to me coming up in DC. Yeah.
What's crazy is that like at least Mountain Dew, President Mountain Dew Camacho, like wanted the best for his country and all of his people. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
he may have been dumb as shit, but he wasn't,
Yes.
and slightly corrupt. But like
Yes. Yes.
I would this is the crazy part. Like in a fictional story about an absolute fucking moron of a president, I would take that guy right now 10 out of 10 times over Donald Trump, who has somehow torpedoed a really awesome economy that was handed to him by Biden. Like
Mm-hmm.
we as a country and as I give a lot of credit to Powell and as much credit as you possibly can give to the Federal Reserve because
Yes.
there are it's not all fucking rosy having a Federal Reserve and having people in charge of a monetary supply. Um and who can inflate on a whim,
Hell, because of Lena Khan, we're not pledging allegiance to Disney.
right? No, but like the soft landing that was predict or that like people said economists said was near impossible was going to be pulled off, and now because of the
Yes.
tariffs and because of Iran and whatever other dumb shit we're going to be doing with Cuba soon, because we're going to attack Cuba. I don't know when, but it's going to happen soon, and it'll probably be as
He keeps
easy as,
mentioning it, so yes. Yeah.
well, Marco Rubio has a big fucking boner for Cuba, so it's going to happen.
He
um
wants to have his own Cuban Missile Crisis. But anyway.
I they're not Iran. They're a small island nation that we've been starving for 50
Oh,
fucking years. So like
yes.
it will be a lot easier. It will be more of a Venezuela kind of victory. Um and so he just he sunk the entire economy of this fucking country. Or he's about to, anyways. So it would take a miracle to pull it out at this point. Um like I think most countries have run out or are about to run out of whatever reserves they had to help buoy this process. But it's so anyways, I wish you. This is going to sound fucked up and probably like political violence, but I feel and wish that you could persecute or prosecute a president for doing an egregiously bad job.
Yes.
If and like you don't have to just like that's not it. That's not the litmus test. Oh, he did a bad job. The litmus test is like, did your personal wealth go up during this process? Because I think that instead of prosecuting them for things that are technically not illegal, which would look like a legal witch hunt, I think what
Hmm.
you do is you need to find some methodology, whatever it is, come up with a law if you absolutely need to yank that taxpayer money back. There's no fucking way that the Trump, whatever the flying fuck, should be able to keep all that money. They shouldn't be billionaires and the Trump family deciding what's going to happen on this planet for the next like 50 years. Short of
Yes.
like political violence and actually killing them, I think that all of their funds and assets need to come back.
Need to be
And
stripped and distributed.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, it's just like that was, and unless that happens, and that to me, whoever comes out, I don't even give a fuck if it's a Republican. Whoever comes out and says that, God damn it, Terrell. If the dude's last name is Hitler, he's like, it turns out that I'm the nephew of all. Like, I would. There's a part of me that would be exceptionally tempted to vote for whatever fucking creature is like, I'm going to strip every dollar out of the Trump family that they took of taxpayer funding while he enriched himself
I'm
as
like,
president.
God damn, President Stalin, let's
I
get it.
President Stalin, I don't give a fuck. President Ho Chi Minh, I don't give a shit. Like it's going to, I'd be like, take all my vote, take all my money, take. I don't give a shit. I will bust migrants up, sir. I don't give a fuck. We are getting you elected. I don't give a shit. I will do anything I can. This is an injustice that I think needs to be righted, and if it's not, I think it becomes one of those like big scars in the country. If
Yes.
you are going to allow corruption at this scale, at this naked level of corruption, at this scale,
Blatant, obvious
blatant,
corruption. Yes.
then what the fuck are rules for? Why am I following rules?
Yeah, why are we playing by the rules anymore
Why
if he
why are
doesn't
we
have to
doing
follow anything?
yeah,
Yeah.
why are we doing any of this if
Because you're just
laws
promoting
and rules don't
anarchy now.
matter?
Yep.
You are if you want rules and laws to matter at all, you have to enforce it even at that level. Sure, maybe you can't go after the president. It's fine. I understand that. But you better go after his estates. You better go after his family. They all need to be stripped of their money. They don't need to be
Yes.
killed or arrested or whatever the fucking fuck.
Even if you
I,
don't jail them, yes, strip them of
I,
their money. They can't leave with a victory.
you ripped off America to a huge amount. It's all
You
taxpayer.
profited off of making our economy nosedive.
Yes, and all the insider trading that's happening that people have been keeping an eye on. Like,
Yes.
how the fuck, man? Don't tell me his family isn't involved with that shit. Eric's stupid
No, they're
fucking face. If I
involved.
could,
Is Don Jr. has what has he got? Part ownership in one of
mhm,
those Kelsey or Poly markets or whatever the fuck.
yep, yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
all that
They're
shit.
playing in our faces.
The stupidity you have to think that that's not going to come back on them. I don't understand. So, anyways, I don't necessarily think that the same solution that Romania took is the solution. But if they kneeled the entire Trump family down and fucking gunned them in front of a like brick wall, I'd be okay. I'd be like, damn, that sucks for that family. Maybe you
Like
assholes shouldn't have like robbed all of America.
I'm like, I didn't choose that solution, but I won't be against it
It's like
because what you did to us, oof, you had to know something was coming.
it sends a signal that you can't have this level of corruption in this country.
Because people need to know you can't operate that way and
Yeah.
expect for when the credits to roll, you just sipping pina colada somewhere
Yeah.
nice. You don't
Look,
get that ending.
yeah. There needs to, look, I get maybe I'm living in a fucking movie land in my head, but that can't be the
Fuck it, we can
ending
live in it
credits of
because
this
they
shit.
fucking are.
We I think the country has gone too far towards like capitalism. And I'm a staunch defender of capitalism. At least I have been for a good chunk of my life.
We've
But
heavily
to watch,
abused what capitalism is, yes.
but to watch people who hoard wealth and then turn that wealth into power, and then to see how they use that power, because they could use that power to make everyone's life better. Honestly, Donald could have been one of the greatest presidents in history. If you just
We've
think
had
about
this
this,
discussion. He could have.
could have closed the border, didn't have to fucking do all the weird shit in Minnesota and LA and all these other fucking areas. Didn't have to do
Everything
any of that shit.
for
Didn't have to.
him on
Mhm,
paper starts off sounding like a reasonable idea. The way he goes about everything is what's
mhm.
terrible.
Yep. Could have even quietly enriched himself. Didn't have to do tariffs, didn't have to inflate, didn't have to destroy the economy, didn't have to do anything with Iran, didn't even have to go after Venezuela. Although that was pretty bloodless and pretty clean. Like,
I
could have
mean,
still
of
started.
all the things he's done, Venezuela's been quite soft.
I still think it was a terrible fucking idea. Like, we can't just go
Oh, bad
around doing
idea.
that.
But the ex for once, it was the opposite of what I just said. A bad idea was properly executed.
Yes, that's actually a really good way of saying that. Um, so, in 4 years of that and economic growth, because we nailed the soft landing, and he would have gone down in history books as seriously like one of the best presidents, like especially as a post-COVID president. Like, damn, that was actually really
Oh, we
good.
wouldn't have that much material.
That's
I'd be
fair.
happy. Yeah.
No, you and I would be talking about cool shit like Marvel and like comic books and like the shit we were talking about when Biden was president, and we didn't
I
have to worry about
wish.
him
Could
rage
you think
tweeting.
about where we were when this
Ugh.
podcast started?
Oh, it
Jesus.
was it was in such a better
Ah,
spot.
God, I missed that. God
Me
damn
too.
it.
Me too, my friend. I think I complained about work a couple times. Like it was like that.
Exactly. We
Anyways,
were talking about such smaller scale things, and I hope we return to that at some point.
it was fun to talk about those smaller scale things. It was more
Oh, I
intimate.
loved it. I loved it because life was so good that we could focus on that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Now here we are wondering, is it going to be a civil war, a world war, or both? What's
That's
it going to be?
I wanted to circle back to that where I think you were talking about patriotism. And then I
Yes.
asked you, like, what do you mean by that? And while you're
Hmm.
listing that off and talking about it and stuff like that, I also realized, and somebody said this on a podcast recently, so I'm just going to repeat it, even though I won't give credit because I don't remember who said it. But like, I think that these folks, these people that are what you consider outside of your tribe, whether that's immigrants or whether that's black people or whatever the fuck, if you don't think that they're part of your tribe, whatever that may be, I think it's easy to ignore that. Like, oh no, that's just so and so. I don't care about that. I think that's easy to ignore when like the economy's good, your life's good, there's comfort,
Hmm.
there's abundance. Um, but the second like you get scarcity, the second you start worrying about when your next meal's coming or like a medical bill will fucking destroy a $400 medical bill is going to destroy your entire fucking year. Um, all of a sudden, these other people, these groups become a problem because I
Mm.
think the human brain like needs someone to fucking blame
Hmm.
or just like becomes really tribal in times of scarcity and in times of like high stress and anxiety. And so
Yes.
again, fuck, I'm gonna repeat myself like a dickhead every time. But like I think it all goes back. I mean, it all goes back to the way that we are, but it goes back more recently to COVID and just the sheer amount of fear and anxiety that got pumped into this whole society. and we've never recovered from how we comport ourselves and treat our neighbors and people that are not exactly like us. I think you could make the argument. Look, I'm not saying that things were perfect, but during the Obama years, I feel like the the racial tensions were a little bit more eased in your everyday interactions. They were still
I
clear, like
completely agree with that.
the I mean, obviously they still bitched about a tan suit. If it was a white president, I don't think they bitch about a tan suit. I'll go on record with that
One,
shit,
you're
right?
absolutely right. But two, think how good the country was that was our complaint about him.
That's
I
fair.
thought
That's
he
so
looked
fair.
good, but the fact that
I
the
thought he looked
media,
great.
that's all they could choose to,
Dude,
yes, that's all
that's
they
all
could
they
get on him. I went, oh, he was
yeah,
good.
yeah. How good was the president when the biggest scandal was a tan fucking suit? That's some shit. Uh so yeah,
Mm,
I don't so I think there's a component of that that we need to eventually acknowledge. I still think there are a lot of wounds and trauma from COVID, being told to wear a mask, having inconsistent messaging on that. So now you've got people that aren't trusting
yes.
scientists. And I'm like, yeah,
Uh-huh.
look, I understand skepticism. I understand that like what you were told and the stupid mask thing and all that shit is like dumb, but also it was not to control you. It wasn't to hurt you. It was to decrease the chances of transmission by like even 0.1% when something is deadly can potentially save
Yes.
thousands. And they were just playing the numbers. So that's what I would fucking do. Get your mind in a logical place because these people don't give a fuck to control you. Like they just don't. The fucking health people don't give a fuck to control Mister Fuckity fuck that wants to go into Home Depot but doesn't want to wear a mask. Nobody gives a shit about you. So it's
They
these
gained
sorts.
nothing from
They gain
controlling
utterly
anyone. Yeah.
fucking nothing.
Yeah.
And so, like, they didn't enrich themselves. They didn't do shit. Get the fuck out of my face with your conspiracy theories.
The irony that those people still back MAGA and they are benefiting and profiting. It's kind of, that's funny. That's sad. That's
So
sad.
I I go all that to say that as long as this anxiety is still there and it is fanned, I think that we will see more political violence in the coming years. And that makes me scared because I don't think it's necessary. I don't think that it's gonna help.
It never
Um,
is.
and I
It
think
is scary,
yeah.
yeah, because it'll have a ripple effect.
Yes. People are gonna come like they're gonna push back harder and it's gonna get nasty.
Yes.
And like I don't know. I'm big on taking all the money out from the billionaires. I know that sounds shitty, but Elon Musk doesn't need to be a trillionaire. Like I've seen how
That's
he uses
dumb
his
to
power.
me. A thousand billion is dumb to me.
Yeah, I just
It's
like
just,
I've seen how he uses power and it's absolutely not. And the fact that they
you know
skirt all
what?
these
Nobody would sweat these billionaires if they were helping the homeless, feeding the children, making sure the economy thrived. If they were doing stuff, they could help out so much and it would still be a fraction of their wealth.
correct.
And the fact that they choose not to is why we have a problem.
That's precisely it. Even back then, like 100 years ago or 200 years ago, when you had the robber barons and you had the Vanderbilts and the Carnegies, even they were like, we should probably build some museums and shit.
Exactly. You're like, hey, it's
yo,
way more of them than us. We got to give them something.
we gotta do something or they'll try to kill us.
They're going to come in here and take this shit.
Yeah.
And when you really get smart and you think about it, hey, you gotta work that system. And I don't know why the Elons, the Bezos, and the rest of these fuckers, they not even acting charitable. They're not pretending. Yeah, they can do some tax write-off shit, but I mean, you can effectively change the world. And if you want to shrink that scale, you could change America. and your legacy that you guys seem to be oh so obsessed with would be incredible.
That's why
I don't know
Melinda
why you don't chase that.
was it? It was Melinda Gates and who's Bezos's wife? I forget her name,
Those
but she
ladies
like,
are doing incredible, yes.
dude, they gave away Bezos's wife gave away billions, and
And
I think
Gates,
she
same.
same, yeah, yeah, no, like
Yeah.
I think it's Melinda was not Melinda, the other
Mal-
one. I forget Bezos's wife. I think she got like
yes.
13 billion or some crazy fucking number.
Yes.
Gave away billions in grants and right now is worth 25 billion dollars. Like bitch made money. But like the billionaires will be fine. They will be fine.
Yes.
I
And does that just mean that the women are just more charitable?
I don't know.
Because I mean, you think of them and you think of Oprah, and I mean, there aren't that many female billionaires that I know of off the top of
That's
my
fair.
head.
That's fair.
But there are way more men, and the men aren't as charitable, and these women are the ones that are giving out money and helping people. And I'm just thinking, are you guys just obsessed with being smog? Like, are you just rolling around in the money Scrooge McDuck style? Because you could do this. It shouldn't take a divorce for them to do that, and y'all still aren't giving shit up. It bothers me. I'm starting to notice a pattern. I'm not saying it's true,
I mean,
but I'm just
mm,
wondering if that's the case.
maybe I can point to Bill Gates, who has done an enormous amount of work around malaria, um,
Okay. Oh,
and
yep.
HIV.
Okay. You're right.
Like,
Yep. Good point.
and yeah, I mean, he spent a fuck ton of his own money to do that. And malaria
Yes.
itself, I think, is what the biggest killer on in the world.
Oh, yeah. No, that's a very
So
good point. Absolutely. Thank you.
I always, when okay, this is a complete sidebar, but whenever I hear about malaria, I always think of one example where they had, I think it was like a what's it called, a medical hospital, or maybe even like an army hospital or something like that. And the ants were crawling up wherever this was. Couldn't tell you where it was. The ants were
Hmm.
crawling up, like on the people and up on the beds and stuff like that. So what they did
Oh, shit.
was they lifted the beds up and put the bed posts or the bed, the foot of the bed or whatever, in little pots of water. That way, if the ants try to fucking climb up
Oh.
it, they'll just drown. I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. And then all their people started dying from fucking malaria because the water was where the mosquitoes laid their eggs.
Oh,
they could
shit.
they couldn't figure it out. Though, why the fuck did we get this massive wave of malaria all of a sudden? Let's go. Because you solved one problem and made another one 10 times worse. Anyways,
Jesus Christ.
I always think of that when I hear A, malaria, and B, like trying to solve one problem, making it 10 times worse. Oh, any other questions or any
Wow.
other things that
What
you
a
wanted to
way to
cover?
get a tiger to get rid of the mouse.
Yeah, no shit. Anything else that you wanted to cover or talk about with political violence and how we're
Mm.
doing
Nah, I think we did the damn thing, Chip.
that? All right, man. We're both
Yep.
against it, but are scared of it. It's coming.
Yes, we're against it. We're against it. We're just afraid because it's very likely that it's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Fuck. It's just the fact that we're in this goddamn timeline and we're just here. We can't avoid what we have a good sense that's coming,
Hmm.
and we just have to ride it out. That's what bothers me. That we're existing in this, and because as I told you, the July 4th thing makes me concerned, but the midterms I'm definitely concerned about because we know there's going to be guards and armed people and all of that to try to disrupt people from voting.
Yeah.
People, you should still get out there and vote and just be prepared. You probably going to run into some drama at the polling places.
And it will specifically be in areas where minorities vote and
Yes.
where poor people wait. or poor people vote.
Yes,
Um, just that's the way it's going to be. You remember all those, at least
absolutely.
in Oregon, I think I've mentioned it before, but there was a bunch of like, bombings and shit in those little bins where people vote.
Yeah, I
And
remember it
then,
made national news.
yep, and then that shit went the fuck away. And they were
Yeah.
specifically in areas. And I'm like, God damn it, dude.
Yep.
Don't tell me that shit wasn't on fucking purpose and wasn't coordinated. I don't know.
We know.
Every conspiracy theory is correct now until proven wrong.
I mean,
I
that's the
believe them
way it
all.
is. The conspiracies are true. We live in
Yep.
that reality.
Yep. Until I'm proven wrong, I'm believing every fucking conspiracy theory.
Hey, man, I'm rocking with these fools because obviously shit's here because
Uh-huh.
the tinfoil hat dude is running the FBI now. So why not? Fuck it.
Yeah, he is.
Fuck. God damn it, Chip. All right, man.
All right.
I guess that's a good place as any to end it. Thanks for listening to Real Talk. I've been Jarrell Williams, and
Orange or go.
we'll catch you next time. Thanks for listening. Bye.